Coming up, Earth Day is tomorrow. More on how the City of McAllen is sustaining our planet. Plus, a look at the first UTRGV spring football game and those highlights in minutes. And a student organization is having its annual fashion show later in April. The details later in the newscast. KVAQ-TV starts now. Good morning, vaqueros. My name is Alexandra Salazar. This is the 12th spring edition of KVAQ-TV. Today is Monday, April 21st, and starting the newscast. The City of McAllen gave KVAQ-TV a sneak peek inside its recycling center in celebration of Earth Day. Multimedia journalist Perla Cortez with the details.
Oh hey, tomorrow is Earth Day, but making a difference begins with a small step. Like this one. But let's see what the City of McAllen is doing to make a difference.
Inside this large warehouse, piles of shredded paper and cardboard sit before becoming products like bottles or paper. The City of McAllen Recycling Center processes 150 tons of recycled material a week. Recycling Education Coordinator Abril Paz says the department has reached 48,000 households because of McAllen Shines, an initiative dedicated to improve the quality of life for residents in the city.
Us taking back responsibility, we see litter on the floor, let's pick it up, let's be more responsible of our environment, and that's why it's called McAllen Shine.
Here is how recycling works. Items such as plastic bottles, cans, glass, or cardboard boxes are just a few that can be recycled. Recycling center employees then sort the materials to be shredded separately before being shipped out to different facilities. These recycled materials later become bottles for sodas or other products. Bass also says if there's an individual who plans to recycle, check the approved recycling items that are processed in your city. Be sure the items are clean to avoid piles like this one, marked as contaminated.
Here in the City of McAllen, we recycle paper, cardboard, aluminum, tin, plastic 1 and 2, and glass. Plastic bottles, they always have a triangle with a number. If you ever get any plastic container, usually your water bottles will be number 1s, and then things like detergent bottles or cleaning supplies will be number 2s. And so basically these triangles with numbers are just instructions on how an item can be recycled. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be recycled.
If you want to get your own blue bin, check out your city's website or visit your local recycling center.
Recycling and throwing away your trash properly are not the only ways to help sustain the ecosystem. The United States Geological Survey says birds are a good sign of a healthy environment.
Quinta Mazatlan is a birding center in McAllen that has documented over 140 species of birds visiting the mini forest when migrating or resting in the RGV, creating a nature wonderland for residents and tourists to enjoy bird watching. Executive Director of Quinta Mazatlan, Colleen Hook, says McAllen plans to expand and build new spaces to provide a habitat for birds, plants, and trees to thrive.
I think land is always a challenge, and balancing development with making sure we're providing green spaces for wildlife. We've now put in 6 tiny forests throughout the City of McAllen. These are tiny pieces of land the size of a tennis court. They're not big enough for a large park, but you can create a tiny forest, and eventually these tiny forests become like a pearl necklace. You're connecting.
McAllen resident George Garza says he has been birdwatching for more than 20 years and encourages individuals to be a part of improving the environment.
They've got this beautiful park here. They're expanding the brush kind of to the west here. They're planting trees, native trees, and then they're building the education centers over here, you know, on the other side of the parking lot. If you just take care of your backyard, you'll be doing a lot of good. If you can create your own little environment in your backyard, you know, that would help.
The City of McAllen will be hosting Monarch Fest, an Earth Day event, from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m., April 26 at Quinta Mazatlan. It will also host a Kirby Hunt Day, where 6 plushies of the recycling center's mascot will be hidden across 6 parks in McAllen on April 22nd, starting at 4 p.m. Participants can go to @McAllen's Recycles and @McAllen Shines for clues on the plushies' locations. Visit the City of McAllen on social media for updates on the event. For KVAQ-TV in McAllen, Perla Cortez.
Imports around the world are facing increased rates and tariffs. How will the tariffs affect the car industry? Multimedia journalist Victor Ortega with the details.
With President Donald Trump's tariffs on imports paused for some nations and active for others, there is still a lot of uncertainty on how this could affect the U.S. economy. KVAQ-TV spoke with economics lecturer Francisco Aldape to learn more on this developing story.
It's trying also to create more incentives for companies to not only bring jobs but also to invest in the country.
With tariff rates not seen in America since the 1930s, the Trump administration's actions aim to strengthen the American economy. The White House website states over 70 countries have entered negotiations to establish new trade deals with the U.S. If tariffs do go into effect, prices for goods, including cars, could see a noticeable increase.
So typical example would be that a truck or one of these like SUVs, instead of costing $70,000, would increase to $75,000 or $80,000 just because of the way that the auto industry in the U.S. and the North American region has been put together.
The potential increase in cars and spare parts is seen by some UTRGV students as necessary for economic growth, while others view tariffs as damaging to the economy. But Business Administration sophomore Gael Verdines believes that possible price hike will benefit America in the end.
Many of their friends have lost their jobs because of the tariffs and the shortages of employees. Maybe the economy may improve through these tariffs. It may be a long process and may be difficult for Americans to face, but I do think that on the long run, it will be beneficial for the American people.
On the other hand, the increasing cost is seen as damaging by social work sophomore Caleb Conde.
Everything is increasing. Price of groceries are increasing. Gas is also increasing. All these prices of cars are going to increase and all that. And I honestly believe, my opinion is that what he's doing is definitely not benefiting our economy, and it's definitely not benefiting his people and the people of this nation.
Aldape says that it is only a matter of time before the true impact of tariffs can be measured.
Probably one important data point that is going to come out next month to see if this has had any impact on the people, on the number of unemployed, or how many jobs have been lost as a result of this uncertainty.
Trump launched an investigation last week looking into ensuring a secure and sustainable domestic supply of essential materials, including wood and steel. The investigation will produce a report detailing risks and providing recommendations to strengthen domestic production. For KVAQ-TV in Brownsville, Victor Ortega.
Double-decker, double ride, double efficiency? The UTRGV Parking and Transportation Services introduced the double-decker Vaquero Express as a trial. Dathan Trevino takes us on a ride.
I'm currently standing inside the double-decker bus that started demoing last week, which, after student feedback, may become a permanent addition to UTRGV Transportation Services. Unveiled last week, the new double-decker bus has an increased seating capacity of 82, seats that face each other with a work table in the center, and of course, a second story. Director of Transportation, Maribel Contreras, says the demo is providing a lot of insight as to the different buses available if any of the current Vaquero Expresses needed replacement.
That we would have to look based on the information on the service, on the surveys that we're gathering information on. It's just a way of us planning for the future in case that we need to make any changes for replacement or expand our service.
The bus came as a loan from Alexander Dennis Canada Inc., a manufacturing company created in British Columbia. Contreras says although you can customize the features on the buses, if transportation were to purchase the exact bus being used in the demo, it would cost around $1.4 million. She adds if the department were to purchase these buses for permanent use, based on current ridership, they'd need around 4. The trial run will end this Friday. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Dathan Trevino.
Looks like a fun ride. Now in sports. The UTRGV football team hit another milestone by showcasing its first ever inaugural spring game. Here's our multimedia journalist, Desiree Villanueva, with the highlights of the game.
UTRGV is making history as they have their first ever spring football game. A historic night marked the city of Brownsville as UTRGV football took the field for the first time ever for its inaugural spring football game. The white team led to victory with a 17-5 against the orange team. 3,562 fans packed the Veterans Memorial High School last Thursday to get a feel of UTRGV football. Attendees were treated with more than just football. The UTRGV Spirit program brought out the exciting energy during halftime, with performances from the UTRGV marching band, cheer, dance, and drill team. In football terms, the team was divided into two teams, orange and white. Leading the white team as a starting quarterback was redshirt freshman Atzel Chavez Jr., as he set for the first touchdown of the game, leading the white team in the second quarter. Redshirt freshman Jordan Malusi made the orange team's first score, with incredible plays by both teams, ending the night with a white win. Football head coach Travis Bush speaks on the performances of the team and what's next until kickoff.
It's been a fun week, a fun spring, but definitely finishing up today out here in Brownsville, and with the crowd, with the band and the cheerleaders, and kind of getting a real game atmosphere. But we're really proud of the way our guys, and splitting up into two teams, kind of try to balance the teams out a little bit. And for me, just stayed back neutral and watched and helped coach there a little bit. But
Coach Bush says the team has grown since starting in fall and will only continue to get better from here. Redshirt freshman Atzel Chavez Jr. speaks on the white team's victory and the fun atmosphere.
The atmosphere was great. White team, we came in with just this energy. A total locker room, getting everyone hyped, getting everybody prepared, mentally prepared, knowing what they were doing. We were all locked in, and it was really fun to play against our guys.
The spring game not only marks UTRGV history, but marks the end of UTRGV's football spring season. This spring practice period worked the Vaqueros for the season opener on August 30th against Sul Ross State for the first ever UTRGV football game. That's all for KVAQ Sports. I'm Desiree Villanueva.
And speaking of milestones, the UTRGV Student Media Department won the Directors' Cup last week at the Texas Intercollegiate Press Association Convention for the third time in a row and is fourth in history.
The department brought home 50 awards in total, on-site contests, and previously published broadcast awards. Some of the on-site contests in San Marcos include Spanish radio announcing, newspaper design, editorial cartoon, magazine design, among others.
Texas A&M and former TIPA president Nicole Morris says attending TIPA is an experience for students to confirm their passion for journalism.
It reinforces that you are on the right path career-wise, and that you are putting into practice what you're learning in the classroom. So it certainly is a way to validate your skills.
UTRGV competed against about 40 universities and colleges, including Baylor University, Texas A&M University, and Texas State University, to name a few.
TIPA is expected to be held March 19th through the 21st of 2026 in the Denton Embassy Suites.
A student organization at UTRGV is helping students express themselves through fashion. Our multimedia journalist Miguel Gonzalez with the team's passion for fashion.
Models, photographers, and cosmetologists are some of the positions that make House of Fashion, a student organization that will host a fashion show at the end of the month. Senior Vice President for House of Fashion, Ana Camacho, says House of Fashion is a club where people can have a platform to practice projects as well as get experience in modeling, designing, photography, and cosmetology. Camacho says the House of Fashion does not have any requirements for students wanting to join.
It's a student organization, but we like to think of it as the major in fashion here at UTRGV. It started in, I believe, 2019, right before the pandemic hit, so there was not a lot of members when it started up. The only thing that we require from members is commitment and communication.
Camacho says the organization hosts 2 shows every semester, one in Edinburgh and the other in Brownsville. During the semester, the organizations host photo shoots relating to the theme of the fashion show for promotion.
So we'll have a whole team of models, photographers, cosmetologists, and stylists the day of. It's basically like a mini fashion show in preparation for the big fashion shows.
Cosmetologist Rebecca Santos says her role as a makeup artist is to prepare the looks before the show and making sure the models have the look according to their designs.
And then we gather all of the looks, we create a lookbook, and that's what we get like our guides, our references for during the day of the show, so we know what to do.
She says there will be an art exhibit from April 28th to May 9th at the Charles and Dorothy Clark Gallery in the Liberal Arts Building South on the Edinburgh campus. Model and designer Damien Cortez says he has been modeling for 3 semesters so far. He says it is his preferred expression of art, and they are always looking for new members.
Fashion is, I want to say everything. Like, fashion is like the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you walk. Like, fashion is really just putting how you feel out into the world, and everyone's able to see that, and I think that's beautiful, and that's one of the reasons I love fashion so much.
Camacho says she invites everyone to the show on April 27th at the Marbell Event Center at 1101 Alberta Road in Edinburgh. The event will have a $10 entry fee.
So come check it out. If you want more information, our Instagram is UTRGV at HOF. So you can find more info on our Brownsville show, which will be taking place on May 11th. Both the shows will be on a Sunday. So, we hope to see you there.
For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Miguel Gonzalez.
Thank you for joining us, vaqueros. Watch us on VCast monitors and on social media. I am Alexandra Salazar, and this is KVAQ-TV. Your campus, your news.